seems like shorts all across the board are getting smoked and burned because yeah, if you follow the channel, yesterday we talked about, being careful about the highlights on mainstream media about the market going down like it was the end of the world as we know it, and looking at the actual fact and the data into really making sense of what to expect. And as we expected, we had a rebound. These are the two best days the market gained since many years. All right, because we were just coming from the lows of 2022, and AMC and APE were not just an exception to that. And this is also something we talked about a couple of weeks ago, saying that they're going to be temporary more pain before we see more gain, specifically into these two stocks for obvious reasons. Now, today we got some news coming from HYMC. This is the Hycroft Mining company in which AMC invested $25 million a couple of months ago. And AMC is the number one individual investor into that company. So this company, Hycroft Mining, got a notice from the Nasdaq where the stock is being traded that, a notice of a warning against delisting. So in this video, we're going to talk about, okay, what does that mean for AMC stock? Should you start worrying, and the pump that we're seeing now on AMC and APE, is it something that can be sustainable because the shorts already start covering, or is it just another pump and dump as we've seen many times in the past? First off, AMC, APE, double digits gain today, all right? Not surprised, not really phased, because even with a 25% daily gain, we're still not close to what I consider to be my selling price, which is not the case for pretty much 99.99% of people, invested into AMC stock. Just to say that careful is kind of the word here. Why? Because this might be another pump and dump. Pump in the sense that they're pumping it because some shorts are covering, but also dump because by Friday or maybe by next week, everything will go back down to 5, maybe 6, maybe 2.5 or maybe $2 for APE. You just never know. But not saying that AMC cannot, continue to raise from this, especially as we have the Credit Suisse situation and earnings coming up in, October, November for the, in the last quarter of this year. So definitely these are two catalysts that I see in the, near future. But as always with AMC, having no expectations is kind of the best way for me to approach this thing, because whenever you start to get your hopes up, boom, something happens and then everything is just canceled and suppressed. All right. So just be careful about that. Now, I do believe it's going to be temporary short pain before we see some gain, because since Adam Aaron, issued the APE, APE preferred shares, well, it's been going down hard, almost 80% down since just a couple of weeks since inception, since he started trading publicly. It doesn't even make sense. But yeah, anything with AMC, any crap with AMC that you cannot just anticipate, yeah, it does happen. All right. So the temporary short pain here is about, maybe the shorts trying to prevent the company from selling as much apes as possible to raise enough money to cancel a bunch of, if not the entirety of the debt they have, because that will definitely mean the end of all the shenanigans we've been seeing here and the beginning of the mother of all short squeezes. So there is a real battle happening here, but it doesn't change the fact that there's still a lot of bullish action to happen in both of these stocks, even though we're down significantly. All right. Now, with the Hycroft Mining, the listing thing, is it something we should worry about? Not really, and I'm going to explain you why. First off, $25 million. If you look at the amount of money AMC had in cash in order to invest for the future of the company, we're talking about a little bit over $1 billion. All right. So 25 million is not even 0.5% of that amount. It's like you and I losing $5 if this whole thing goes south way. All right. If this whole thing goes south way, but it's not, because this company just recently discovered that they have discovered a new mining location for both gold and silver. So that's definitely more revenue. It's just a matter of structuring things for this to be a profitable operation. And I think that's why AMC invested 25 million. It might sound a lot, but again, it's like you and I losing just $5 going at the casino. All right. It doesn't, not going to change, my net worth at all. Not at all. All right. Now, the other thing to look at is this delisting notice is definitely something that is kind of, I would say, normal or natural for stocks or penny stocks. Look, Hycroft Mining stocks, it's been trading around, below $1 since pretty much July 1st. All right. So since July 1st, it's been under $1. And whenever you are on the Nasdaq or maybe on the New York Stock Exchange, if for a certain amount of time your stock price trades below $1, you get this, notification around a potential delisting. But the company has plenty of time and plenty of options to kind of regain that compliance when it comes to the Nasdaq notice. The first thing is they actually have 180 days to go back above $1. And I've seen dozens and dozens and traded dozens and dozens of stocks that always fall into this category, and they have not been delisted because either, within 6 months, plenty of things can happen. The market can rebound. The market can also go back down a little bit further. So they have plenty of time to kind of see what they can do in order to go around that. On top of that, they can actually get another period, another probationary period for another 180 days. That's 6 months on top of the 6 months. So that's a whole year. But even after that, they can still do many other stuff, such as, considering consolidating shares, maybe issuing, doing what we call a reverse stock split, maybe 2-to-1, maybe 10-to-1 for the stock price to go from 74 cents to maybe $7. There are plenty of options. I think the media, as always, is just using this as a way to paint anything negative they can find when it comes to AMC. All right, because anytime there is something good, nobody speaks about it out loud. But anytime there is a slight possibility of something that can even start to be negative, it's been overblown, it's been exaggerated. But if you look at the fact closely, it's simply not. So this keeps me really grounded and very, very bullish, because if AMC didn't have the potential of wiping a bunch of these companies or hedge funds that are shorting it to oblivion, they wouldn't go as much out of their ways to make sure we sell. So if we keep patient, because patience here is going to be really the key word. If we keep patient, then in due time, my friends, we're going to see what we deserve.